everyone. I'm Gurtej from Board Infinity team and welcome you all to the new session, building the PPC campaign using the Google Adwords. I guess everyone is ready and very excited about this workshop. For more videos like this, please do like and subscribe to the Board Infinity channel. And if you are someone who is looking to start your career in digital marketing, then check out our website www.boardinfinity.com. And within 24 hours, our counselor team will get in touch with you. So, without wasting time, I would love to welcome our coach, C. Vikram sir, who is having more than a 5-year experience in specifically digital marketing domain. And currently, he is a group head at GroupM. So, thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us today. And we are good to go now.
Great. I'll share my screen. So the way we will go about it is we have divided the entire section into two parts. So we have a theoretical approach first. I think in the first half an hour we'll cover the entire theory part of it. And then we will actually go to the practical introduction of the entire steps that we take to set up the campaigns. So a little bit about me. I currently lead the digital practice here in GroupM for a set of clients, and I have a practical experience of both the traditional marketing plus the digital marketing. And so I bring to table the best of both the worlds. And obviously I'm a Facebook certified professional. I am also well versed in the Google products, be it Google search or YouTube or display campaigns. I also hold a third position in the Amazon All India Case League, and I'm also a part of the All India Young Spikes, one of the finalists that I have. So I'll go with a brief introduction of the theoretical part of it first, what all points we need to cover in the theory, then we will move on to the practical section, which is the second part of my presentation. So we'll cover the basic of search engine. What exactly is a search engine? What is the importance of search in the entire media mix? We have multiple media channels today, be it TV or a radio or a display, or we have out of home, we have n number of media mixes out there, n number of avenues through which we can reach out to people. So in all of that, where is search and what exactly is the role of search? Then we'll talk about third point, which is a few search trends from last year, that is 2020. What all people were searching in the field of search, what all was happening in the field of search, what are the top search trends that were happening. We'll look into all of that. Then fourth point, we'll go to the broad introduction of search engine marketing. What is it exactly? How do we structure the keywords? How do we set up the bids? How do we set up the campaigns, and so on? Fifth point, we'll look at the different elements of search. There are multiple steps that we need to take in order to ensure a successful search campaign. So we'll look into all of that. Then we'll talk about how search exactly works in terms of selecting the right keywords, structuring your campaigns in the right manner, and finally trying and testing a lot of things in order to learn and improvise in the future. Then we'll talk about how to write compelling ad formats. As much as your campaign setup, your creatives, your text that you enter into the campaign is extremely important, and that should catch the attention of the audience. I think that's something that we'll also touch upon. And finally, we'll have different kinds of ad extensions that we have. So Google provides some 10 to 12 ad extensions, and out of which we always recommend to have at least 2 to 3 ad extensions, which are very important in order to set up a search campaign. And finally, as a ninth point, we'll enter into the practical implementation of the search campaign. We'll look deeply into how to set up the campaign, how to use a keyword planner, and so on. So let's start with the first point, which is the basics of search engine. So search engine is anything you have. It's a virtual software system, that's designed to carry out web searches. So how Google works is basically Google has this crawling technology through which it crawls into a lot of websites. The crawling never stops. There are 3 steps primarily that defines the entire search ecosystem. There is crawling, there is indexing, and there is ranking. So crawling is something when a user, when the web crawling technology or the bot crawls the entire website, which is part of the Google ecosystem, it tries to find out more content. It indexes the content. Basically, it stores all that content in a one place. And when a user enters a search query in the Google search engine, that's when it retrieves the most relevant data, and it forms the part of the first page of the Google search query. So 3 steps is basically crawling, indexing, and ranking. So that's how we define the entire ecosystem in a Google search platform. Now let's understand, where does search exactly sit in this entire ecosystem. There are multiple media mixes, as I said. There could be a TV, there could be a print medium through which you can reach out to the consumers. There could be a radio through which you can reach out to the consumers. There is out of home, the huge billboards that you see when you move out of the house. Then there are multiple such mediums. So where exactly search is sitting amongst all these mediums? So as I said, there is apps, there are SMSs, outdoor, print, radio, brands reach out directly to the consumers. So the exact point where search sits is basically, so ultimately what really happens is, no matter what marketing you do, be it a TV campaign, be it a radio campaign, be it a digital campaign, ultimately what really happens is people come down to searching a product on Google. So I think that's where the power of search comes in. And search is further broken down into 2 parts. Obviously, there is a paid marketing angle to it, and there is an organic component to it. So I think organic is something that we'll cover later, but for this session, I think we'll restrict our knowledge sharing to search platforms. So ultimately what really happens is, no matter what you do, what marketing you do, ultimately people go to the browser, they search for the product, they look at the different kind of products that are available, they do their own comparisons, and ultimately they decide what is best for them, and then they make a purchase. So as a brand, it's really important for us to ensure that we are in the right time, right in the front of the consumer when they're looking out for our product. So that's, I think, very important from a brand point of view. Be at the right place at the right time, in front of the right consumer, so that that consumer looks at you, clicks on your creative, goes to your website, buys a product, and then you can obviously build that customer value by ensuring that you remarket to them and increase their value. So I think these are a few statistics that I wanted to share with you. I think I'll share that later. So probably, so in a nutshell, I think what really happens is, on an average, if you look at a global level, Google processes about 4 to 5 billion search queries in a day. So you can imagine the kind of the volume of search queries that are going on out there. You can imagine how many people are looking out for so many products that is being offered by the brand. And out of these multiple search queries, we can bucket it into 3 different parts primarily. So you can have an awareness angle to it, where people are top of the funnel, they're looking out for a lot of products, but not really into the purchase stage of the funnel. So if you just imagine a triangle like this, on the top we have the awareness, in between we have the consideration, and then we have the purchase intent, or a conversion as we call it. So some people are on top of the funnel, which is the awareness phase. They are just trying to find out about the product, trying to have more information about the product. So certain keywords that I can define in terms of, from an awareness point of view, could be, let's say we take a smartphone brand, a Vivo or a Xiaomi, for example. So people might be looking out for the product, but they're actually not interested right now in buying. So that's an awareness. They are trying to look out for the product, trying to dig out more information. Next comes the consideration phase of the funnel, the midpoint of the triangle. Now, consideration is something when they are actually comparing a lot of products. For example, they could be looking out for best smartphones under the price of 10,000, for example. That's what you search in the Google query. So I think that's when Google recognizes that this person is probably looking out for a new phone, and it buckets you into a higher affinity or in-market category of the audiences. And finally, when you come to the next lowest point of the triangle, which is the purchase or a conversion. So that's when you start typing keywords like a buy mobile phone or a buy mobile phones near me. So all these keywords, the word buy itself signifies that you are in market or you have a higher intent to purchase a product. I think that's when Google also recognizes that this person is actually actively looking out for a new product. And the same concept applies for all the categories, not just the smartphone category. You can be in a car category, for example, an automobile category. People might search for cars under 5k 5 lakh, or a car under 10 lakh. So Google recognizes, oh, this person is actually now looking out for a four-wheeler, or for example, a two-wheeler, for example. So it could be anything. Now let's look at a few trends that I've pulled out from Google. This is for last year, actually, for the entire year. So now we look at the overall trends of what people searched on Google in the year 2020. So number one is Indian Premier League. I think that's something that was very big last year. IPL moved out of India. It went to the Gulf country, Dubai and other places. So people were searching for a lot of it. I think cricket is something that you cannot really beat in India. So that's very important for us to see. Then obviously we had coronavirus taking the second place. So for people, I think Indian Premier League is more important than the coronavirus. So third is obviously we had the US elections going on. So people were looking out for a lot of search queries around US election results. Then probably fourth one is PM Kisan Yojana. A lot of farmer protests were happening in India. And that's when the government started to uh, talk about a lot of Kisan Yojanas and all. And finally, we had the Bihar elections. Now let's look at the middle one, the middle image that you have near me. So the category is near me. So a lot of people actually also search for, let's say, products near me, or a mobile phone near me, or a Xiaomi store near me. So these kinds of keywords are actually categorized in the near me category. So what people were looking out for, food shelters near me. That's one of the top search queries that we had. Then COVID test near me. COVID testing was very rampant last year. I think we didn't know much about this virus, but yes, people were looking out for COVID tests near me, crackers near me. I think that's also people are looking out for liquor shops. That's, we cannot live without our liquor bottles. I think that's what people were also searching for, and night shelters, obviously. Now let's come to how to category. So how to, I think, again, really important. A lot of people started to live out of their homes, work out of their homes. People are not going to the office. So these how-to queries also came up a lot. How to make money, how to increase immunity. I think that's from a coronavirus point of view. People were asking how to increase immunity. Dalgona coffee is there. I think PAN and Aadhaar card linking, the deadline was there last year. I think a lot of queries were around how to link PAN and Aadhaar card, and obviously how to make sanitizers at home, because the demand for sanitizers suddenly shot up last year. Now talking about movie categories, so I think Dil Bechara, Surarai, Tanhaji, all of these movies were top trending. News events, again, you had India Premier League, coronavirus, US presidential elections, Nirbhaya case, and finally personalities. I think Joe Biden obviously tops because of the US elections. And so these are the top queries. I think for 2021 also we'll soon start getting those quarterly reports, and we can see what are the top search queries. I'm sure it's coronavirus, obviously. Now, looking at the sports category, again, you have all these sports events like a Premier League or a UEFA Champions League, English Premier League. Look at the the TV web series. You have Money Heist, Scam. A lot of these queries around good movies on Netflix and Hotstar. Then, what is queries? So there are a lot of what is queries also on Google. So obviously the top ranking goes to what is coronavirus. Binod is something that was trending last year. So I think that's really important to look at. And plasma therapy, a lot of people didn't know what is plasma therapy. So they were looking out for what is a plasma therapy and all. Now what I'll do is, let's take a look at a small video to find out a little bit about how Google processes and understands these queries. It's just a small educational video of about 2 minutes. So we'll quickly go through it, and then we'll move on to the next set of the presentation. So I'll just unshare my screen and reshare, because I think I haven't shared the audio part of it. So just give me a second. Okay.
most human trait is to want to know why. And in a year that tested everyone around the world, why was searched more than ever.
The spread of the coronavirus has passed a significant milestone.
And while we didn't find all the answers, we kept asking. Some questions inspired joy, others excitement.
Life in the bubble.
You love me?
Yes.
You love me?
Yes.
You love me?
Yes.
I don't know what an improper fraction is.
Keep all of those distractions out of the way.
We found toilet tissue, y'all.
Oh my God.
Put it on there and start it up for me.
What are y'all doing? It's still March. How many days in March?
Some questions made us cry.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs. I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout. I love you guys.
Some made us worry about this spinning rock we call home.
Fires were detected in the Amazon rainforest.
Why were so many lives lost?
Almost 1.5 million people have now died of COVID-19 worldwide.
Why are we still asking the same questions?
George Floyd repeatedly told the officers that he could not breathe.
So why do we still have strength to continue?
I believe in your power. I believe in our power.
Chants of Black Lives Matter echoed from thousands of protesters in cities around the world.
Why are we not defeated?
We have made too much progress, and we are not going back. We are going forward.
Planes are starting to arrive in Beirut, full of international aid.
Firefighters from around the world arriving in California.
There are over 100 coronavirus vaccines in development worldwide.
This is one of those times when people look out for one another and have each other's backs.
We kept going for those who showed us the way.
Think about how you would like the world to be for your daughters and granddaughters.
Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Press on with pride and press on with purpose.
Why is it that this year showed us its worst and we still found ways to triumph?
An incredible feat for Maya Gabriela.
Naomi Osaka, U.S. Open Championship.
Can't let Corona stop you. Can't let quarantine stop you.
So until we get to every answer, we're still searching.
Great. So I think that's the power of search. No matter what your query is, be it good, bad, ugly, positive, negative, you reach out to the only place, that's Google, which holds about 93% of the entire market share. So that's what you reach out to in order to ask your doubts, ask your queries, and reach out to people, obviously. So these are the top search engines that we have, but obviously the biggest of all is Google. That takes the mother of all market shares. That's about 92%. Then we have Bing or Baidu, Yahoo, and Yandex and all, which take care of the remaining 8 or 10% market share. So I think obviously Bing is there, Yahoo 1.6, Baidu 1.4, and Yandex 0.5% market share. So effectively, so I think this is something that I've already covered. What really is important is, no matter what your marketing medium, no matter what your path to reach out to the consumer, it's very, very important that you reach out to them in the right place and at the right time. And it's not a better, I mean, apart from Google search, I don't find any other platform that gives you that scope and the scale that you exactly be at the right point where the consumer is looking out for you. I think TV is a push medium. You know, there's something called as a push medium and a pull medium. So you push advertisements to the consumer. So the consumer doesn't really want it. You push the advertisements. So similar is a print or a radio. It's a one-way communication. So however, digital has evolved a lot over the past 5 or 6 years. Now you can interact with the creatives. We have something called as a rich media creative, wherein you can interact with the creator. You can chat using a chatbot system embedded in the creator. I think a lot of these we'll cover in detail in the upcoming courses. So effectively, what really happens is it's extremely important for all of us. People are searching a lot of queries every single day. I think every day about 4 to 5 billion search queries are happening globally, and it's extremely important for us to have an always-on approach. So a consumer is searching each and every day, looking out for your products out there. So if you are into a business, if you're having your own business, it's extremely important with tight budgets. If it's there, it's extremely important that you target the right keywords, go to a very narrow set of keywords with if you have limited budgets. But if you are working for a company, if you're working for a client in the company who has deep pockets, I think you can decide depending upon what your marketing objective is, and take a call depending upon what kind of keywords that you want to target. Now let's come to the fourth section of the presentation, which is a little bit of introduction about search engine marketing. Although a lot of you would know about it, I think I'll quickly introduce what exactly is a search engine marketing. So it's anything that involves a paid component to it. So there is SEO, which is the organic part of it, and SEM, which is the paid component. So you put money behind it for promotions so that the Google recognizes your keywords that you have input in the campaign, and it matches it with the backend queries and the content on the website. And ultimately it ranks them depending upon something called as a quality score. So I think only the money component is not important in a Google search campaign. That is really important, because a lot of people think that I place a higher bid in my campaign, so I'll rank in the top. That's extremely not the concept. That's absolutely wrong. I think more than the money that you put in the campaign, it's something called as a relevance or the quality score that is important, because Google tries to make advertising more easy for the consumer. So you should be at the right place at the right time, exactly when the consumer is looking out for you. I think that is very important here. So only placing a higher bid is not equal to having the number one position in the search ranking. So what you see on the right hand side is you have a lot of shopping ads. Then below that you have running shoes. This is a query I searched. So I got ISX, I've got Amazon. So all of these paid ads are there. So I think three important components that we should look at in any search query or in any search campaign is basically the URL. Where will the user go when they click on your creative? Number two is your headline. What is that headline that you want to, so that the consumer reads it properly? So it is basically, I can see marathon running shoes for men here. So that is the headline that Isaacs has put out there. I searched for a very specific query. I want a running shoe. I don't want any other shoe. I want a running shoe, and that too for men. I clearly specified I want a running shoe and for men. And I think that's what the query came out. And the third point is the description. So what is the kind of description that you are putting out there? So I can see a description here which is talking about unparalleled combination of stability and comfort, a lot of that. So three important things in a search campaign is the URL that you embed, where the consumer is going to go once they click on your creative. Where are they going to land? That's the first point. Second point is the headline, and the third point is the description. So these are the three important points that make up a search campaign. Obviously, there are a lot of other things involved in it. So I think to speak broadly about it, these are the 3 points that we need to look at. Now let's break it up further. So once I click on the create, once I make a search query in the Google search engine, I get 3 things primarily. One is something called as a paid advertising, which is depicted by the small ad written on the left hand side in black color. So that's something called as a paid advertising. So you have the Nike URL there on top. You have online sports store, that is the headline, and then you have the description. So there are multiple extensions that we can look at in the bottom of the ad. So we'll talk about extensions in the later slides. So there could be a callout extension, there could be a structured snippet extension, there could be a call extension, There could be app extension. So there are some more than 10 extensions that we can put as a part of your creative that takes a lot of space in the Google search result, depending upon how many extensions we have added in the campaign. Now, after paid advertising, you can see something called as an organic listing. I think this is extremely important from an SEO point of view, wherein you start optimizing your website, start optimizing your content in such a way that you rank on the top organically without any paid component or without putting any monies behind it. I think that's extremely important for a brand. You keep working on your paid advertising, but obviously you need to ensure that your organic component is also built and you start ranking. And just to give you a fact, a lot of people, more than 80% of the people, don't go beyond the first page of the Google search result. So I think how many of us here would have gone beyond the first page of the Google search result? I don't think so. I think that's really important. You need to rank in the very first page of the Google search result, and either through paid advertising or through organic listings. Now, on the right hand side, you see something called as a product listing ads or shopping ads, as we call it. So PLAs, or in short form, it's called a PLA or a product listing ads. So PLA is extremely important. Again, it basically amplifies your entire creative into an image plus a creative plus a price plus your offers that you have. If you have a free delivery, all of it comes embedded into a single picture. And even before the user wants to land into your landing page, they have a very clear idea about what is your offering here. Like for example, you have a Nike Men's Air Vapor Max. The price is given very clearly. Where is it available is also given. It's Amazon.in, and they're also saying that we have a free delivery right now. So even before you make a purchase, you have a very clear idea about the entire product and the offerings, and you can clearly compare it for all the brands right in front of you in the search query. You have the same product, you have it available on Agio, you have it available on Amazon. You can clearly make a comparison there and then decide which landing page or which creative do I want to click and go and make a purchase. So these are the broad things when you do a Google search. I think so. There is a paid component to it, there is an organic component to it, and you have a product listing ads or a shopping ads that we call it. Now let's look at a very broad comparison of the paid search campaigns and an organic search campaign. So the buying model is basically a pay-per-click model. Only when you click on the creative, you have to pay. Otherwise, you don't have to pay. So that's the very reason why it is called a pay-per-click or a search engine marketing. Now SEO is obviously the traffic is free. It is not paid for. It's completely organic. Now talking about the ad copy, so for a PPC campaign, it is added by the user. It is added by the person who creates the campaign. I can add as I said in the earlier slide, I will have to add a URL where the user is going to go once they click on the ad. I have to add a headline. What is it that my headline that the user has to read? And I have to add a description, the details about the product. Whereas in a SEO, it appears organically. You don't need to add anything. Once the user's search query matches with your website content, I think it appears organically, depending upon how much you're working on your SEO. Now, third point is activation. When I say activation, it's basically the campaign, the paid campaign that we run through a Google dashboard. So activation is basically Google provides this self-serve platform. We have our own dashboard using which we can activate all the campaigns, set up all the campaigns, and execute all the campaigns and monitor and optimize it real time. That's very important. So the job of a planner, the job of a media planner does not end when we set up and execute a campaign. You'll have to monitor it continuously. You'll have to see what kind of numbers you are getting on the dashboard. What is the kind of CPC, which ad group is doing well, which ad group is not doing well. You need to optimize it real time, keep shifting the budgets and bids here and there. And that's how you make a very successful search campaign. So that is very important. So please keep in mind that once you publish a campaign or set up a campaign, your job is not over. Every day, every hour, you have to go there, check what kind of results you are getting, and you have to do a real-time optimization by moving keywords up and down, or if there are different types of keywords that will go through, changing the bids and the budgets. So all of this you need to keep working on over the entire campaign duration that you have. Now coming to the SEO, there is no specific interface. As I said, SEO is completely organic. It's a non-paid medium. It appears organically on the search result page of Google when a user makes a search query. So I think there is no activation required here. It's just that you need to keep working on the SEO part of it. It's a long-term process. That's the fourth point there. So the strength of a paid campaign is you immediately come on the first page of the Google search result. The top through 2, 3, or 4 rankings that we have, you immediately come there by paying an amount to Google. Whereas coming to SEO, I think it's a long-term process. SEO is not easy. It's a medium to long-term process. It might take about anywhere between 6 to 9 months to build your entire SEO structure. And obviously that takes a bit of time, and you need to keep working on it continuously so that you come on the very first page of the Google search result. And as I said, a lot of people don't really go to the second or the third page of the Google, although Google has these multiple pages of results that we have, but nobody goes beyond the first page of the Google search result. So that is where we need to focus on. Now let's talk about the key elements of Google search. So we'll quickly, so I've already covered this, but just to quickly give you a broad overview. So we have something called as keywords. So what are keywords? Keywords is something that you input in your campaign, in your paid media campaign, and that keyword is matched with the user's search query when they actually go and search on the Google Search Console. And once that matches, Google throws out that result, which comes on the top as a ad unit. Now, as I said, it's not just the keyword, it's not just the bidding, it's not just your creative. It's a combination, it's a complex mathematical combination of the backend working of the machine learning algorithm that decides which ad to showcase and which ad to not. And it's really important to highlight here because for the same keyword, there could be multiple advertisers who are bidding on the same keyword. For example, buy a smartphone is a keyword. It's a 3-worded keyword. So there could be a Xiaomi who is bidding on that keyword. There is a Vivo who is bidding on that keyword. There is a Oppo who is bidding on that keyword. So all the advertisers are bidding on the same keyword. So it's extremely important that your ad copy must also appeal. Your ad relevance should also be there. So it's not just the bidding component that works. So, and we'll also talk about bidding. I think if you are bidding, let's say 2 rupees, it's not necessary that you have to pay a 2 rupee. It could be lesser than that also. And we'll talk about it in the later slides. Now coming to the second point, which is the ad copy. Now ad copy, again, as I've already explained this, ad copy is basically the headline, the descriptions, the different types of site links you have, or call links, or call extensions. So all of these ad extensions that you have, all of this put together makes up your text ad. It's very important that you set it up in such a way that it really appeals to the consumer. You have to put yourself in the shoes of the consumer and see what works for them and what not. And you have to do this real-time optimization. Now, third point is the landing page. Now, landing page should continue the journey of what your creative talks about. So landing page is in a layman term, a landing page is something when the user clicks on your creative, where should that user go? Where should they land? That is your landing page. Usually it's the website, brand's own website. That's where they land on the landing page. So it's extremely important that the communication that you are having in your creative, the landing page should continue that journey. So that disconnect should not be there between your creative and your landing page. So that is extremely important. For example, if you're talking about, for example, I search for a product, buy Nike shoes. I have a Nike creative on top. I click on it. I go to the Nike website. Now suddenly I see some other product there. So what will happen? From a user point of view, obviously it's not a good experience because I specifically searched for buy Nike shoes and I'm going to the Nike landing page and I see some other product of Nike. which is not something that I expected. So I'll immediately close the browser and probably I'll again go back to the Google and make a search again. So it's extremely important that whatever you're showcasing in your ad or in your creative, the same thing should be there on your landing page also. Or for example, if I am searching for a specific um, shoe, for example, I'm looking out for a running shoe. So I click on the creative, I go to the landing page. It should not happen that I'm looking at t-shirts and shirts. I should be looking at running shoes only. So the right landing page and the landing page relevance is equally important. So broadly, these are the three points. We have the keywords, we have the ad copies, and we have the landing pages. So this is the main hierarchy of a paid search campaign. So it's very simple to understand, nothing complex in this. Just imagine it in the form of an inverted triangle. So we have this inverted funnel. Just imagine it in that format. On the top, you have the account level. A lot of people, so there is an account ID that is assigned, Google Ads ID. Within the ID, you can create multiple campaigns. So there could be one campaign running, there could be two, there could be 4, 10, 15. So you can have n number of campaigns within a single account. Now, what all can you do at a campaign level? It's very simple. On the left-hand side, you can see we can put our budgets there. We can decide upon the networks, whether we want to set up a search campaign in the search network or also in the display network. I think all of it will come there, and obviously the location settings. Whether we want to do the campaign at a pan-India level, we want to target a specific geography within the country, all of that settings happen at the campaign level. Now let's come to the ad group level. Now ad group is something that is under the campaign. So under a campaign, you can have multiple ad groups, and and just for your clarification, each ad group is in its own a unique campaign. So although there is a campaign, within a campaign, you have multiple ad groups, and each ad group is very important to be organized around a specific theme or a specific product or a specific nature of the product. So just to give you a broad example, let's say I have a smartphone, for example. So I'm selling a smartphone, a mid-range smartphone for around 15 to 20,000 rupees. And I set up a campaign. So I have a campaign, a search campaign, which is wherein I'm selling my phone. Now within the campaign, I'll have ad group number 1, which is around camera. I'll select keywords around camera because my phone has a very good camera. So I'll select such keywords like a best camera mobile, best camera phone under 15,000. All of these keywords, I'll put it under ad group number 1. Now let's come to ad group number 2, processor. I can build ad group number 2 around processors. For example, I have a very good processor in my phone. So a lot of people who are playing a lot of games on their smartphones might want a higher processor so that the phone doesn't hang. So I'll build the second ad group around processor. Now third ad group around battery. I also have a 5000 mAh battery or a 6000 mAh battery. So my third ad group can revolve around battery. For example, people are searching for best battery smartphone or a best battery smartphone under 15,000 or under 20,000. So for all such search queries that user searches, I can have a separate ad group for them. So it's extremely important that you organize your campaign in such a way that they don't overlap with each other. Otherwise, they'll start bidding against each other. And number 2, organize your ad groups around specific themes. It could be t-shirts, one ad group. Let's say I'm on Amazon. I can have one ad group for t-shirts, one ad group for men's t-shirts, then women's t-shirts. I can have one ad group for kids t-shirts, and so on. So the idea is to keep them separate, keep them unique while revolving around the same campaign structure. And finally, we have something called as the keywords or the ads. So keyword or ad level is where we talk about all our headlines, all our descriptions, add the URL, which is the final landing page where the user will go after clicking on your text ad creative. So the account level is the account structure is extremely easy. You have a campaign on top. Within campaign, you can have multiple ad groups. Within ad groups, you can have multiple ads. So it's extremely easy. So we look at it while we do the practical implementation of the campaign. So it's very easy to understand. Okay, now next point is how the search works. So as I said earlier, price is not the only deciding factor. So there are multiple things that the search engine or the Google machine learning takes into consideration before putting up the best search result for your query. And all of this happens in milliseconds, not even half a second, it's milliseconds. So there is a bidding that takes place in the backend. Once you do a search and hit that enter button, there is a bidding that happens in the backend, and it takes out the best information that matches your search query, and that's how the entire search result page is structured in front of you. Now also, you can have two parts wherein you can display your search campaigns. It could be on the search network, which is the search engine, plus a combination of multiple sites that have partnered with the Google network. Or it could be the display network. It could be, your ads can also show up on the display network. So there are two parts to it. There is a search network and a display network. So, Google keeps recommending this. You should take both search and display network. Some people do accept it. Some people, like whenever I set up my campaigns, I think I avoid taking the display network because I don't usually recommend that. But it's obviously up to people. You can always go back and do your trying and testing. So there is no, frankly, there is no thumb rule that there is no perfect campaign. You'll have to keep editing it. You'll have to keep improvising it. You'll have to keep going back and checking your campaigns, and that's what really matters. Keep trying and testing. Increase the bids, increase the budget, decrease the bid, decrease the budget, add new keywords, remove certain keywords. So you'll have to check what works for your brand and what does not work. Okay. So this is a broad understanding of the backend calculation of how Google actually ranks your creative. How does Google decide what will come in the first place of the search engine result, what will come in the second place, what will come in the third place? How does Google decide all of that? So this is the backend calculation. So you're not supposed to know this, frankly. It's not important to know, but from a FII point of view, it's extremely important that you understand what is important for your campaign. So you don't need to memorize the formula. So obviously Google will not reveal the 100% what goes behind putting out that search query. But broadly, this is what is being put out, and it's extremely important that you understand it, but it's not required that you should learn the formula and do your calculations and all. That is not required. So there is something called as a quality score, which will be available in the Google dashboard. A quality score is something that takes into consideration multiple things. For example, your CTR, which is called as a click-through rate. Second is the landing page experience. As I said, it's extremely important that your creative talks about the same thing that is there on the landing page. So the landing page experience is extremely important. So there are multiple things that quality score embeds. I think we'll look at it in the next slide. Now, the second point is the maximum bid. So bid is simply an auction. What is it that you want to bid? So usually we bid around 3 to 4 rupees, depending upon the category and what vertical we work in, whether it's a FMCG category or it's a smartphone category or it's an automobile category. There are multiple variations to it. So bid is basically what is the maximum amount that you are willing to pay. So bidding is not equal to I will pay this amount. If I bid 3 rupees, does not mean that I have to pay 3 rupees. I can pay less than that also. So bidding is just a cap. It's an upper limit. What is the maximum amount I'm willing to pay? So Google will not bid beyond that amount when the auction takes place. And finally, that adding up to the ad rank. So that's how the position is decided for a specific search query. Now, What does a quality score consider? So quality score considers your CTR, which is the click-through rate, your landing page experience, historical performance, how your past campaigns have performed, have they had better CTRs, have they had better landing page experiences, all of that historical performance. Google keeps learning and it keeps optimizing. Various relevancy factors could be there. Your ad relevancy, as I said, ad relevancy is basically how appealing your ad is, how relevant your ad is for that particular user who is searching on the Google search console. And finally, your keyword relevancy. There are multiple factors that make up your final ad rank or the quality score. So this is that formula that I was talking about. This is how Google ranks your creative depending upon what is it that you want to put out, what is it that you want to show, what is your headline talking about, what is your description in the ad unit talking about. Taking all of that into consideration, this is how Google ranks. So just we'll take a minute to understand the science that goes behind it. So it's very simple. So you have 4 advertisers in the first column. So you have advertiser number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now each of these advertiser is willing to pay a certain amount of money. So advertiser number 1 is ready to pay $2 for the bid. Advertiser number 2 is ready to pay $4. Advertiser 3 is ready to pay $6, and advertiser number 4 is ready to pay $8 for the bid. This does not mean that they will pay this amount. This is just a maximum bid that they are placing on the position whenever a user searches for a specific query in the Google Search Console. Now let's assume they have a quality score of, in the third column, let's assume they have a quality score of 10, 4, 2, and 1. This is a very simple calculation that we have taken. There is a complex mathematical thing that goes behind it, but you are not supposed to learn or memorize it, but you need to understand what drives your search campaign and what drives the search results that come up in the Google search query. So the fourth column, ad rank, is basically a multiplication of the second and third column. So you have 10 into 2, 20. You have 4 into 4, 16, 6 into 2, 12, and similarly 8 into 1, 8. Now your actual CPC that you will pay when a user clicks on your creative is, for example, let's look at the first advertiser, the first row, is 16 divided by 10. Now, where does that 16 come from? 16 comes from the next advertiser's ad rank. Advertiser number 2's ad rank is 16. So you divide that by your quality score, which is advertiser number 1's quality score. So 16 divided by 10 is 1.6, and then you pay an incremental of 1 cent or 1 paisa over and above the second advertiser's bid. So that's how you decide. Although if you see the advertiser number 1 has bid a $2 $2 on a specific keyword, they actually end up paying just $1.61 and not $2. Similarly, advertiser number 2 is bidding for $4, but they end up paying $3.01, and so on and so forth. So it's extremely important that you don't just work on your bidding, you also work on your quality score, your ad relevance. That's how you can improvise your performance, beat your competition, and then take that top position in the Google search result, which is obviously the most clicked option. So moving on to the next point, keyword selection. So again, as I said, keyword selection is the heart of the campaign. You need to input keywords. What is it? What is what are those keywords that the user will search for, as a result of which my ad gets triggered in the Google search campaign? So that is extremely important. You need to understand. So put yourself, a very basic layman's language, if I talk about, is you need to put yourself in the shoes of your customer. Think like a customer. If you were a customer, what will you search in the Google search console? I think that is extremely important. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer. Start thinking of what they will search. What are the likely queries that they will search on the Google? Make a list of keywords in an Excel or a Word document, and then you start inputting in the campaign. So also is very important that you need to decide the structure of your campaign. There is a campaign, there is an ad group, and there is an ad. So there is a structure that you have in all the Google campaigns. In fact, there is a level, a campaign level. Below that, there's an ad group level, and then there's an ad level. So ad is when you put all your headlines and descriptions and URLs and everything. So that should obviously appeal, no doubt about it. But the trigger is basically using keywords. So the right selection of keywords is extremely important. So coming to the branded and unbranded keywords. So there are three types of keywords that we can have. Broadly, we bucket keywords into three different categories. There is something called as a brand keyword, which is your own keyword. For example, I am a automobile company, for example, a Maruti. I have my own keywords: Maruti, Maruti Suzuki, Maruti Creta, Nexa. So all of these are brand keywords, which is owned by the brand. Owned by own, I mean it's a brand keyword. Now there is something called as a competition keyword. You can bid on the competition keywords as well. Competition could be a Hyundai, a Toyota. All of this is a competition. So there are competition keywords. And there are certain keywords which we call it as generic keywords, which are neither brand or competition. So all of these are generic keywords. So extremely important that you protect your own keywords, which is the brand keywords. Otherwise, what will happen? Someone is searching for a Maruti car and a Hyundai shows up on top. So probably chances are high that people might click on that Hyundai creative and go and buy a car. Anything can happen. So it's extremely important that you protect your brand keywords, target the competition keywords like a Hyundai or a Toyota, and also focus on the generic keywords. So it has to be a mixed bag of all of these. Now let's understand something called as a long tail and a short tail keywords. So anything that is more than 3 words or more is called a long tail keyword. So whenever we are making a search on Google console, let's say I'm searching for buy a smartphone under 15K, 15,000, or best smartphone under 15,000 in Delhi. So these are all long tail keywords because they are more than 3 words in length. And I think it's extremely important that long tail keywords should not be avoided. Long tail keywords have a higher chances of getting you a good conversion, because when people are searching for more specific queries, which means they have actually finalized on what they want to buy. So I think long tail keywords should not be avoided. It's very important to have long tail keywords as a part of your campaign. So for example, I searched for a best smartphone in Delhi under 15,000, which I know that I am in market. So we call this as an in market client, in market customer who is actively looking out to purchase a smartphone in Delhi under 15,000. So we have a lot of, we can build a complete profile of this customer. This person lives in Delhi, is in market for a product. He's probably a middle class guy because he's looking out for a product under 15,000. And so these are the kind of profiles that we can build for the consumer depending upon their search queries also. And finally, we can, the second type of keyword is a short tail keyword. A short tail keyword is anything that is under 3 words. So long tail keywords are those which are more than 3 words, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. And a short tail keyword is anything that is under 3 or less words. For example, a running shoe. I'm searching for running shoe. Running shoe is a short tail keyword. Running shoes, men's running shoes, for example, that is also a short tail keyword. So anything that is 3 words or less is a short tail keyword, and anything that is 3 words, 4 words or more is a long tail keyword. And just focus on the graph in the right hand side for about 30 seconds. So you see the vertical graph is basically the number of monthly searches that you have, and in the horizontal you have the number of keywords. So your long tail keywords will sit on the extreme right hand side of the graph. So basically the number of searches for a long tail keyword will be less, but they might be more relevant also in some cases. So that's how we should read it. Now let's come to the different types of keywords that we have. I'm also cognizant of the time, so I'll quickly rush through it and wind it up in the next 10 minutes, and then we'll go to the practical implementation. So these are the different types of keywords that you can input. Now, whenever we are talking about the keyword selection, there are multiple keywords that define the trait of the user or the intent of the user. So that's how we define the user. What is the intent with which the user is making a search query? Now, depending upon the kind of keywords that they input in the Google Search Console, we can easily find out whether this person is randomly searching for something or this person is going to buy something. So they kind of use a lot of words like buy a car, buy a mobile phone, buy running shoes. So the word buy is extremely important here, which means they are actively looking out for the product. Now, there are 5 types of, I can see just 4 here. There is a 5th type that I'll talk about. There are 5 types of match types. Look at the first column here. So you have something called as a broad match. So broad match is basically anything. So if you have a keyword query like a children's bicycle, so that is a broad match query. You don't put any symbol around it. Now, second row is broad match modifier. So you add a plus sign in front of all your keywords, which means you are telling Google that only for these keywords or its close variations, my ad should come up. Our third type is the phrase match, which is a quotation mark we put around all the keywords. So you are again informing Google that only these specific keywords in a similar order and its close variations should come. Now, fourth is the exact match, wherein you put the bar brackets around these keywords. So you're telling Google that only these exact matches, children's, bicycle, and close variations in the same order should come up when a user searches for the query. And finally, the 5th one is, which is not present here, is the negative keywords. Negative keyword is something that you want to remove. Basically, negative keywords, you input negative keywords only when you don't want your ads to show up for a specific search query. For example, a Xiaomi sells all kinds of products. Xiaomi sells smartphones, it sells lights, bulbs, and everything. So whenever a user is searching for Xiaomi smartphone, you don't want a Xiaomi bulb or a Xiaomi vacuum cleaner to come up. So you can put all those keywords in a negative keyword list. So that's how you define the keywords. And your keyword goes like a funnel. So on the right hand side, you see when you want to reach out to a lot of people, when you want to build awareness. So I think that's where your broad match and broad match modifier will come up, because there is no restriction in terms of the keywords. It's open. People can search for it and your ads will show up. Now, when you go down the funnel, you talk about consideration, preference, and conversion. That's when you talk about phrase match and exact match. So when you want to just say buy Nokia phones, so you put that under a bar bracket, and only people who are searching for that specific search query, which is buy Nokia phones, will your ad will trigger and your ad will show up. So broad match is something that is on the top of the funnel. Then you come the then comes the broad match modifier. Then comes the phrase match. Then comes the exact match, and finally you have the loyalty. Loyalty is something that keep building the customer value. That is extremely important. So I'll skip this point for now because I think I've already covered this. It's very important that you structure your campaigns. The keyword list is very important. We'll go to the keyword planner and see how to build a keyword list. Campaign goals are very important. So second point talks about the keyword planner. Third point talks about more descriptions and keyword combinations, as I was talking about. Use a combination of long tail keywords. That's there in the third point. It's extremely important. Don't ignore the long tail keywords, which are more than 3 words in length. That could be, give you a significant amount of leads. It's extremely important. And you can finally use multiple ad groups in a campaign. So keep testing out, keep improvising. There is no one size fits all. There is no best campaign. Every day you will have to keep improvising and working on it. Now, when you log into the keyword planner, these are the 2 images that you see on the right hand side. It lets you discover keywords, and it lets you identify Google search volumes. What are the kind of search volumes that you are having for a specific keyword? So I think it's extremely important that we use both of these components. But for our campaign, we'll restrict ourselves only to the discover keywords, because that's where we try and extract all the keywords that we will use in our campaigns. Now a quick slide about the audience targeting. Now Google does allow layering of audience targeting over your search keywords, but the trigger of your ad will always happen basis the keywords that you input in the campaign. But Google does allow you to layer it over different audiences. For example, if you are gaming company, for example, you are selling a gaming consoles or a headphone, so your TG should revolve around gamers. So Google has these different buckets of affinity audience, in-market audience. On the right-hand side that you see, there are something called as life events. Life events are people when they are getting married, or people are moving houses, or life events could be your birthdays. So when you create an account in Google, you give all this information about birthdays. So that could be life events. If someone is watching more of someone is, let's say, searching for more of baby products on Google, if someone is watching a lot of parenting videos, for example, on YouTube, if someone is going to a baby store, for example, and buying products for a baby, so Google recognizes all these signals from search, from display to YouTube, and they put you under a parenting category, because you are actually looking at and you are giving those signals to Google. So this person is watching a lot of parenting videos. This person is searching for baby products. This person has recently bought a baby product. This person has recently bought a baby dress. So all of this takes into consideration, and they bucket you under a parent or a parenting category. So you might be exposed to a lot of creatives around parenting, or meditation and wellness, or maybe the local school crutches and all, or a daycare. All of these ads might reach out to you, because Google has recognized, using these different signals, that you are probably a parent now, having a kid between the age of 1 to 3 years probably, and you are looking out for parenting videos on YouTube, searching for kids related stuff on Google search. So all of that. Now we'll quickly run through this one slider on ad copies. It's really important that you have a clear message and a strong call to action, and usage of a lot of ad extensions is also recommended. So we'll look at 2 or 3 ad extensions right now, but Google does provide about 10 to 12 ad extensions. But depending upon the business need and your requirements, you can add ad extensions at your own will. So I think this we have already covered. So I'll quickly skip this for now. You have on the top, you have the domain URL. Under that, you have the headline, which has a 30 character limit. On the right hand side, you have headline number 2, which is again 30 character limit. And finally, below that, you have the description. I think that covers the entire structure of the campaign. So responsive search ad is something that is automated. So there is no manual intervention involved there. You supply Google with all those headlines and ad copies. And Google will make a mix and match permutation and combination of all of that, and it will show the best performing creative or the best performing combination to the right user. So responsive search ads is, I think, also important, but only from a point of view that if you are new to Google, if you want to start from zero, I think you can automate the process. But beyond a point, it's extremely important that you structure your campaigns in such a way that you give the right ad copy and the right description and the right landing page to the right user. So these are the different ad extensions that I was talking about. You have something called as a site link. You have a call out, structured snippet, call extension, lead form. Lead form is extremely important for brands like automobile category, wherein they ask you for a test drive and you can fill in the lead form. They'll get in touch with you and they'll schedule a time with you for test driving, and that's how you can convert a customer probably. Then you have location extensions. You can show your nearest store in the location extension depending upon where the user is searching from. Affiliate location is extremely important for multi-brand retail outlets. You have price extensions. You have app extension for companies like a Uber or a Ola or a Zomato, Swiggy and all. And promotions. If you have specific promotions that are going around, Diwali or a Christmas and so on. So I'll not go deep into all of this. It's fairly easy. I'll just quickly take 30 seconds to wrap this up. You have site link extensions, something that you see highlighted in the left-hand side image. So you have these hyperlinks called free consultation and video testimonials. All of this is basically a site link extension, which goes to the specific web page within the website. Then you have location extension. You can see on the right hand side highlighted the exact location of the outlet. So including the star ratings are there. So I think that is location extension. Call extension, simple. You have a telephone number, put it out on the ad and people will call and get in touch with you. And on the mobile devices, you will see a small call symbol that you see there, which people can click, and it's a one click to call. People can click on it and directly give you a call to understand more about your business. Fourth is message extensions. So a lot of people might be hesitant in calling. So for them, I think message is the best option. You have this message snippet embedded on the platform. When a search query is triggered, people can click on that message and open up and start chatting with your business. App extensions, again, for important for food delivery or cab aggregators. Call out extension, you can call out anything that distinguishes you from your competition. It could be a 24/7 customer support. It could be a free delivery. It could be anything that the competition is not offering and you are offering. You can call that out clearly in the creative. Structured snippet, again, small keywords that are embedded in the bottom that you see. Price extensions, you can, if you have products with multiple prices, I think you can put a price extension, highlight the product and give the different price variations of the product. And finally, promotions. So promotion is again something, if you have something specific around a Diwali or a Christmas, you can talk about your promotions. Okay, now I'll take 2 minutes, and in case you have any doubt, I'm just looking at the chat box. Please let me know if you have any doubts, and then we'll move on to the practical implementation of it. Okay, so we'll follow these steps in order to implement the campaign. So we start off with this point here, which is log into the Google Ads account. We'll use the keyword planner as a next step. We'll do some basic keyword research. We'll try to find out which keyword is relevant for us and which keyword is not. Then we'll choose our keywords and finalize the keywords. Then we'll talk about campaign goals, targeting, bidding, budgets, and flight. Flight is basically the start date and end date of the campaign. And finally, we'll set up our ads once all of this is done. Cool. I think let's start. So whoever has a Google Ads account with them or a Gmail account with them, I think I'll request them to go to this URL here and sign up with your Google account. It could be your Gmail account. So once you do that, I'll take a moment so that you can simply open a Google browser and start typing Google Ads. So you'll see this Google Ad URL on top. I think you can click on that and go to the landing page, and on the top right you will see a sign in option. So click on sign in. This window will open up that you see on my screen right now. So once you do that, this is what you should see in the first window. So I'll move out now from here, and we'll go to the dashboard now. And just give me a moment. Okay, I'm assuming all of you are in the screen, and in case of any issues, so please let me know. I'll wait for 30 seconds. Okay. So once we come here, we'll go to this point, which is the switch to expert mode option. And once I click on that, we'll see this different types of objectives that we have that Google provides for us to go through the campaign setup. So now we'll talk about sales for this specific campaign. And once we click on sales, Google asks us to select the campaign type. It could be search, display, smart, shopping is not available, and video and discovery. So I think we need to make some basic setup here. So hence it's disabled for now. So we'll click on search. We'll click on website and click on continue. So once we do that, we come to the campaign level, and we can give any name to the campaign that we want. Currently, I'll keep it as, so the name is basically anything that you can remember or recall later. It could be Nike shoes, or it could be anything that basically you can recall at a later stage. So for now, I think I'll keep it as test campaign with today's date. Now networks. So this is where I was talking about. There are two types of networks: search network and display network. So search network is Google search result plus a few Google search partners, whereas the display network is basically the entire display network and the Google display network. So we usually don't take this, and this is also not recommended because we want our ads to show only on the Google search results depending upon the user search query. But a lot of people do tend to take this, but avoid taking these two in the plan. Now I'll click on show more settings. I'll select my start date and end date of the campaign. Let's say I want to start tomorrow, which is Monday, and I want to select an end date for the campaign, let's say on 30th. I want to run a 5-day campaign. I'll start my campaign tomorrow and I'll end it on the 30th of April. So URL options is something that we usually don't fiddle with. This is an advanced tracking template that you need to fill in, and it's usually we don't go into this. So this is kept as it is, so we don't really touch it. Dynamic search ads is something that we'll talk about later, because I think for this campaign, we'll talk about inputting manual search ads, including ad copies and URLs. But there are three types of campaigns that you can set: a manual text campaign, there is a dynamic search ad, and then there is a responsive search ads. Ad scheduling. Ad scheduling, if you are a business wherein you offer something only in a specific period of time, let's say Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can input all of that here. I'll select, let's say, Monday to Friday, only a specific time, and only during those specific times my ad will show up. On other times, my ad will not show up. So for the sake of clarity, we'll keep it as all days for now. But you can schedule your ads. If you want only Mondays, you can put only Mondays. If you want only Saturdays, Sundays, you can put only Saturdays and Sundays. And only in these specific days and these specific times, your ad will show up on the search result. I'll select all days for now. Location. So location, I can do a pan-India campaign, or if you are a business who is operating in only specific geographical locations of the country, you can input those locations, enter another location, and I can put the advanced search option, and I can, let's say, select Delhi as my target market. So I can, so here you go, I've selected Delhi as the target market. So you can input as many locations as you want. I can select Mumbai, I can target, so I can keep selecting. So it's basically up to you. If you want to do a pan-India campaign, if you provide a free shipping facility or a paid shipping facility, it's okay, you can do a pan-India campaign. Or if you want to restrict your media to a specific market, you can do that. So I'll cancel this for now and I'll go for pan-India. So anywhere the user is searching for my product, for my specific keyword, I want to be there, I want to appear on that. Now, location options is something that's extremely important. So usually Google recommends to keep it as a first option, which is people in or regularly in. So, but a lot of people also end up selecting this option, people in or regularly in your targeted locations. So this is basically when people are actually present in my location and they are not just interested in my location. So for example, if I'm in Delhi, I might have a house in Mumbai, but I'm interested in Mumbai. I keep traveling there. Doesn't mean that I live there. I live in Delhi. So I'll keep it to this for now. People in or regularly interested in your location. Now I'll move on to the language part. Now language is by default English. We'll keep that to English. So language is not that your creators will get translated into a specific language. It's not that. Language is the browser setting of the user. For example, my user interface is all in English. I can see Google ads written in English here. I can see new campaign written in English here. So this is what English is basically. It's the browser setting of the user. Not that your language will get translated into a specific, not that your creative will get translated into a specific language. It's not that. So by default, we leave it at English. Now this is where I was talking about the different audience settings. So you see a lot of audiences here. You have something called as an affinity audience. You have something called as an in-market audience. You have something called as a remarketing and similar audience. And you have a multiple combination. So affinity is something who have a higher propensity or higher inclination towards a product. Like I could be a gamer, so I have a higher affinity towards games, but I am not in market for a game, which means in market is someone who is actually looking out for your product. They're looking out for buy a smartphone or buy a car or buy a gaming console. All those people are categorized as in-market users. And remarketing is, I think, something that we'll discuss in detail later when we actually go and set up a campaign in future campaigns. So remarketing is basically you retarget the same user who has actually engaged with you on the landing page but did not make a purchase. You can remarket to them with a coupon code, with an offer to make them purchase your product. So I think for now we'll keep the targeting open, or else you can go inside, you can select banking and finance if you are in the banking and finance industry, or if you are in the beauty and wellness industry, you can select beauty and wellness, or if you're in the food and dining industry, select people who have more affinity towards food and dining, or if you are in the media and entertainment, select media and the entertainment industry. If you are in sports, if you are a gym club, you can select sports and fitness. So that's how you select the audiences, and you see I've selected one. It says I've selected one audience here. So for now, I'll clear it and I'll keep it by default at all targeting, but this is not recommended. You need to decide which audience you should target and you should select that. So budget, again, extremely important. I'll place, let's say, 1,000 rupees here for now. This is the budget that you want to spend per day. So on an average, you see Google will not spend more than the budget per day times the number of days in your campaign. Let's say I'm setting up a 5-day campaign. 5 into 1,000 is 5,000. So Google will not spend more than 5,000 rupees for the entire lifetime of my campaign. But on a single day, it might spend 2,000 also. Although I have put budget per day as 1,000, it might spend 2,000 also. But overall, it will not spend more than 5,000, which is 5 days of the campaign multiplied by 1,000. Now, what do you want to focus on? There are multiple bidding options here. So we usually go for a click option, and so I'll in fact go to this. We'll maximize the clicks with a manual CPC. So I want to decide what is that bidding that I want to place. So I'll say I want to go for a manual CPC. I'll pay per click. I'll define my bids here. So there are multiple other options. You can have a cost per acquisition. You have a ROAS, return on ad sale. You have maximize clicks. You have conversion. For conversion, you need to have a proper conversion setting in place, which is putting a small JavaScript code in your website, and that's how you link your Google Ads to the website, and the conversions can be tracked. So that's a detailed advanced course. I think that we'll cover later. So for the sake of campaigns, we'll select a manual CPC, which is obviously the recommended approach. And again, conversion, as I said, you need to set the conversion tracking in place. You can see it highlighted here. You want to have a conversion tracking. So at this point, we cannot do a conversion tracking. So that's part of the advanced course. I think we'll cover that later. Now, ad rotation. Now you can have multiple creatives, as I said, in your campaign. So it's very important that you rotate your campaigns, or if you want to try and test something, you can keep it. You can say, I do not want to rotate my ads. So Google will not rotate your ads. Google will keep showing, and then you can identify which of my campaigns are doing well and which of my campaigns are not doing well. So I'll go for the optimization one. So Google algorithms automatically identify out of the 3 ads or 4 ads that you have put, which one is performing the best, and it will skew all the monies towards it. So these are the different extensions that I was talking about. So there are site link extensions, there are call out extensions, there are call extensions. So let's say I go for the site link extension. I click on new site link. I type the site link text, buy now, or Vivo mobiles. Let's say we are in the mobile handset category. Get 15% off, buy now. Now once I do that, I can have the second site link. Similarly, I can have a third site link. I can have a URL in place, and so on. So once I do that, I'll have it in the ad section of my campaign. So we'll look into the ad section later. So similarly, you can have a call out extension here. If you want to call out a specific, let's say I'll add a call out extension here. Let's see this first. Okay, I don't have a URL right now, so it's let's say I copy this URL here. And I place it here. Guys, you'll need to give me 2 minutes. I'll charge my laptop and I'll just get back. Just 2 moments. Sorry for that. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll click on save now. So you see my site link has been created here, and I can make a preview of that. So this is how it will appear. And once the user clicks on it, they'll go to the specific landing page. So I can hide it now. So I can add as many site links as I want. So usually we can keep trying and optimizing it for the better results. So once I do that, I'll close the site link option and I'll go to the callout extension, let's say. So very easy. Callout is something that you want to specifically call out, which is differentiated from the competition. So anything that differentiates you from the competition. It could be, let's say, free delivery. That could be a callout here. I can add 24/7 customer support. So let's say I click on save, I preview it. So you see free delivery and 24/7 customer support. I can see it here. So similarly, you can create any type of extensions that you want, depending upon the business requirement and in what industry or what category or what brand you are working on. It's extremely important. So for a brand like Amazon, which caters to all the categories and all the industries, it's very important that they provide you free delivery, they provide you with 24/7 customer support. All of that is very important. Now, so similarly, you can add your phone number here if you want. I can click on a new call extension. I can add my phone number. I'll change this to India. It's in the alphabetical order. Here it is, India, and I'll enter my phone number here. So once I do that, I click on save. My phone number will be visible on the creative. So remember, we talked about the call extension here in the presentation, wherein we were talking about the phone number being visible, and the user can easily click on the call icon and they can directly call you and inquire about the product. Now I'll click on save and continue. Now this is where my ad group comes in. So if you recall, we had this structure ready here. Which is your campaign. Here it is. So we have created the campaign right now. So the campaign creation is done, and we are now at the ad group level, which is the default and manual bid, defining the bids at this point. So by default, it takes the name of ad group 1. I'll leave it as it is, but we can rename it later always, depending upon what is the product that we are. Let's say ad group number 1 is about camera phones, for example. So I can name it as camera phones. Similarly, ad group number 2 can be around battery phones. So I'll name it around battery. Similarly, ad group number 3 is around processor Ad group number 4 is around anything, whatever product specifications you have. Similarly, for a, let's say for a bicycle brand, if they are selling bicycles, they can have one ad group for bicycle for parents, second ad group for bicycle for kids, and so on. So it's completely up to you how you want to structure your campaign, in what format. The only point is they should not overlap. You should try and negate one from the another. Now this is where I set my bid. So remember we were talking about this bidding point in the presentation, maximum bid here. So I think this is where we should define what is the maximum amount that we are willing to pay in order for our ad to appear on the platform. So as I said, bidding is not the only criteria that decides whether your ad will show up on top or not. It's a combination of multiple things, but bidding is also a part of it. But bidding is not the only criteria that decides which ad appears on the top and which ad appears in the second place and third place. So bidding can be, so there is no right or wrong here, frankly speaking. You need to try, test, and learn, and then optimize. So you remember these 4 words: try, test, learn, optimize. So try, test, learn, optimize. So you need to, let's start with rupees 4. I want to bid 4 rupees for each click. Let's say, so every time a user clicks on my creator, I'm willing to pay 4 rupees, but does not mean that I have to pay 4 rupees. It's that I'm willing to pay 4 rupees. So let's say I've input 4 rupees here. That is the maximum amount that I am willing to pay. Now it's, so this is where we should input all our keywords. Now it's asking me what is the keyword that you want to input here. Now for this, I think I'll go to the keyword planner here. Just give me a moment. So this is what the keyword planner looks like. Now I go to the discover keywords. So keyword planner is basically available in your tools section, and you go to the second option here, which is the keyword planner. So once I click on that, I arrive at this landing page, and I click on discover new keywords. So it's asking me either you give me a website or a domain URL to start off with, or you can start inputting your keywords. So I'll start with my keywords. Let's say I am in the smartphone category. I want to say smartphones, best mobiles under 15,000, for example. So I put these two and I say get results. So Google will give me a list of results. So you see the kind of monthly searches in this column, which is almost 1 lakh to 1 million. And the competition is very high. That's what Google says. Similarly, best smartphone again has a competition of 100,000 to 1 million. And it will also give me a lot of other ideas. So people are searching for Redmi Note 8, almost 1 million to 10 million. People are searching for Xiaomi products and all of that. So all I have to do is I have to take some keywords ideas from here. I'll expand this, I'll export those keywords. We can have this download option here. I can download the keywords. I can then decide. It's not necessary that you have to go for all the keywords. You have to decide which keyword works for you and which does not. So once I do that, the second option, also very important. The second option is go for this approach, which I personally like and I personally also use. Let's say I click on, best smartphones. See, as soon as I type smartphone, it's recommending a lot of things, right? So this is where you can take your queries. So this is basically Google's recommendation of what people are searching. I can take best smartphone in India under 15,000. I can input it here. let's say I do best smartphone under 15,000. I can again type smartphones. So I am giving Google the ideas around which I want keywords. And as soon as I click on get keywords, it will populate this entire section with the keywords. So there you go. So it's populated the entire section here with relevant keywords basis what I have given them. So it's very important, and it's also giving me some recommendations on the right hand side in terms of I'll have 294 clicks per day. I'll have my cost per day is 1000. My average CPC is 3.4. Although I have input 4 rupees here as my default bid, it still says my average CPC will be around 3.4. It can be less than that also. So there is no hard and fast rule there. So the only point that I want to make is keep monitoring it every day, so that you understand what is working for you, which keywords are working for you, which keywords are not working for you, and you can keep optimizing it real time. So that's the beauty of having a self-serve dashboard. You can log in at any time, keep monitoring, keep improvising. So let's say I decided that I want to go with all these keywords. For the sake of this class, I'll say I want to go for all these keywords. Now you want to decide. So this is the kind of match types that we were talking about in the earlier section. So we have something called as a broad match. We have something called as an exact match and a phrase match. So the moment I put a bar bracket around it like this, the moment I put a bar bracket around this, it becomes an exact match. So I am telling Google that target only those people who are searching for Redmi Note 8 in the same order with some variations. So that's what a exact matches. So you have see that the three types of keyword matches are present here. Similarly, I can put a bar, I can put a quotation mark here. I'll put this under the quotation, which basically means I'm saying, let's do a phrase match. I have put the quotation marks here and I'm saying, let's do a phrase match. So the idea is to identify, so it depends on your objective. If your objective is pure sales and not awareness, then I think go for keywords like best smartphones under 15,000, buy smartphones under 15,000, buy smartphones, Amazon, so all of that, because Amazon, Flipkart are big in terms of smartphones. So it's extremely important that you also take them into consideration while planning your keywords strategy. So as I said, there is no right or wrong. It's all about inputting the right keywords. Think like your customer. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer, and think of what is it that they will be searching, and then those are the same keywords that you need to put here, so that if your customer is searching for Redmi Note 8, immediately your ad will show up on top. So that's the idea here. Think like your customer. Two types of keyword strategies are there. Two types of ways in which you can build your keywords. Number one, use a keyword planner. Very simple keyword planner. I input two keywords, let's say, to begin with, and Google recommends me a list of these keywords. There are some 5,119 keyword results. I can simply export it from the right hand side. I can do my research, and then I can decide which keyword I want to go ahead with, which keyword I don't want to go ahead. Second way of doing a keyword research is this one, the one that I showed you. Start typing your relevant keyword in the Google console, and Google itself will recommend you a lot of keywords. So these are the keywords that your customer can be searching for. For example, best camera. So as soon as I search best camera, it says best camera mobile, best camera phone, best camera under 20,000. So you can put all of these also as a part of your keyword strategy. So very easy. Two ways of making a keyword strategy. Two ways of building your keywords. Number one, use keyword planner. Give Google one or two keywords that are most relevant for your business, and Google will automatically suggest you a list of these keywords that you can see here, along with the volume and the average monthly searches. And the second way of doing your keyword research is open a Google browser, open an incognito browser, start typing your same keywords here. Google will start recommending a lot of other keywords. So this is the main epicenter of the entire campaign, the heart piece of the campaign, inputting the right keywords. So now let's assume I've taken all the keywords that I want here. Now I'll go to the next step, which is save and continue. Now you can see here, you can see a new ad group option. This was my ad group number 1. I can put it as number 1, camera phones. Now I can add an ad group number 2, and I can say this is a battery ad group. I'll put all keywords related to battery in this second ad group. I can do that. Then I can do a third ad group wherein I can do all keywords related to processor. So maybe my phone has a very good processor in it. So that's how you can create multiple ad groups within a campaign. Now for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'll keep it to only one ad group, and that's related to camera. So I'll keep all my keywords here, assuming that these are best camera phones that we have in market. And I'll click on save and continue. So I'm assuming till now you are clear. I think you can always reach out to me if you have any queries or any doubts. I think I'll help you out with that. Now let's come to the ad level. So now we have come to the third section that you see here. I'll open the presentation once again. So this is where we were. We have done the campaign part, we have done the ad part, and now we are we have done the campaign, we have done the ad group, and now we are at the keyword or the ad level. So I'll move back to the search console now. I'll move back to the dashboard. So you see all our keywords that we input is here. You can see ad group number 1, camera phones. The name of the campaign is test campaign that we saw. The list of keywords that we have input here that you can see. So you can always increase or decrease the number of keywords. You can negate certain keywords that you don't want. So you can do all of that. Now comes the final step, which is the ad level. So what I'll do is I have these options here. I can build up to 15 headlines. I can build up to 4 descriptions here, and I can give the Google the option to auto optimize. Google, what will do is it will look at all my 15 headlines. It will look. It's not necessary that you have to give all 15 headlines, but minimum 4 or 5 is always recommended. And description, I can give 4 descriptions at the max. And once I do that, I'll be able to generate these multiple. In fact, Google will be able to generate these multiple permutations and combinations of which headline works well with which description, and it will auto generate multiple creative combinations. So let's start with so this is the final URL. So you can see the final URL tab here. Final URL is something that where we want the users to land once they click on my creative. So for the sake of this creative, I'll put Virat Kohli, but we are not running the campaign, so that's okay. It's just a test campaign that we are doing. So I've put this. So this is the URL that the user will see once they click on my creative. You can see the real-time preview here. As I keep entering the headlines and the descriptions here, you'll see a real-time change on the right-hand side. Now, so the display URL is nothing but the URL that is after .com, so that the user can see when they visit, when they have the search query on the Google Search Console. So let's say vivo.com buy now. So let's say I put it like this. So you see it changes here in the image in the right hand side that you see. I'll delete this. It will go away from there. It has gone. Now I can see, let's say the latest model X61, and let's say buy now. Oh, sorry. So this is what I type. You see it updates here real time on the right hand side preview link. So this is just a display URL. The name display means this is what the user will see. But ultimately where the user will go is this URL, the final URL that I have input here. This is where the user will finally go when they click on the creative. Now, let's move on to the next, which is the headline. So Google is by default recommending that I include these keywords in my headline. So whatever the user is searching, if you include that in your headline, that increases the chance of your creative, of your text ad appearing in front of the user when they are searching for that in the Google search ads. So it says that in the last 30 days, the word smartphone has an average of 50 lakh, that's 5 million searches. So recommended to be part of the ad group. It says Vivo V20 has about 5 million searches. It says Oppo A31 also has about 5 million searches. It says Xiaomi Mi 10 also has 5 million searches. So they recommend it. It's up to you whether you want to put it or not, but it's always a best practice to input keywords that are relevant to your ad group. So now my ad group is around camera. So I would want to include a lot of headlines that talk about my camera feature. So let's say I say 64 megapixel camera, for example. So you see it's getting updated here real time. It's updated 64 megapixel camera. Let's say I have a 24 megapixel front camera, for example. I'll take that spelling mistake. 24 megapixel front camera. So you see it's getting updated again on the right hand side. Let's say I have some nano technology in my camera. So I can input that. Let's say I have what else could be a camera feature. I'll look at the website here once to identify more camera features. So let's say we have this night vision camera. So this is another feature of camera. Let's say I'll have two more. I'll put two more. Ultra low shot. I don't know what that word means. Ultra low shot. Let's say that's another feature of your camera. And so you see it keeps rotating. You see this keeps changing here. See, again it's changed. It's trying to build those different permutations and combinations depending upon all the headlines that I have entered. It keeps rotating every 2 seconds. You see here. It's trying to build that different combinations. And I'll enter one more. Let's say capture the, let's recommend it to keep the first word always in caps. Capture the best at night, for example. I have a very beautiful night camera. So I think I'll enter one more for 7 headlines. You can go up to 15 headlines. Camera that impresses you. Let's say that's another headline that I have. So every headline, so you can put up to 15 headlines here. Headline is something that comes in this blue color that you see. You can see Google is already showing you a lot of combinations that it can generate, and every headline has a character limit of 30. So you see I am well within my character limit, 12, 18, 15, 19, 24. So that's okay. If you enter beyond your character limit, I'll just show you what happens. There's a red flag that comes here. So it asks you to remove certain words so that you come under the character limit. That impresses you and your, let's say, friend. So see, it suddenly, it highlights, there's a red lining that comes here and it says you have exceeded the character limit. So I need to just remove it and ensure that I am well within the prescribed character limit. So that is extremely important now. So having built our headlines, now I'll move on to the description. So if you want to have more headlines, just click on add a headline. A new layer will open up and you can keep adding up to 15. That's what I've built 7 out of 15 right now. You can see it's updating here real time. Now let's move on to the description part. Now description is something that comes under the headline. You see here description 1, description 2, again description number 1, description number 2. I can add a 3 and a 4. But please remember that all your headlines and all your descriptions that you enter here will not show up at the same time. It depending upon in which device the user is entering their search query. Is it a smartphone? Is it a laptop or a desktop? Depending upon all of these factors, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or more headlines or descriptions may show up. So Google is asking you for all these headlines so that it can build multiple permutations and combinations of all these headlines and descriptions, but not necessary that you will see all the headlines and all the descriptions together at a single place. That's not the case. So that's very important for you to understand. It's just that you give everything to Google, it will decide what to show and what not to show. Now I'll add a description. Let's say I again go back to this Vivo and I'll try to copy and paste for the sake of time. I'll quickly copy and paste a small description. Let's say I copy this. I think it's more than the character limit. We'll try and cut it short. Okay, I'm well within the character limit almost. I'll try and remove X50 Pro brings in a new era of smartphone design, juxtaposing art. I'll use ampersand here and I'm within the limit now. Perfect. So do you see the difference? Your creative combinations are starting to build on the right hand side preview link here. Now I'll again go to the website. I'll maybe copy this line. Every aspect of aesthetic is carefully crafted from positioning of the camera modules. Let's say I copy this and I'll see what is the word limit here. Okay, we are well within the word limit. I'll try and copy the entire line and check. Okay, it's way beyond. It says I have put 126 characters, but my character limit is 90. So I'll have to reduce some wordings from here. Let's say every aspect of aesthetic is carefully crafted from the positioning of the camera modules. Let's say I remove this. Every aspect of aesthetic is carefully crafted. Okay, I'll keep it at that. It's just to showcase the premiumness of the product. Let's say I talk about this alpha grade design. That's my third description out of the 4. From the deepest of mysteries of camera. Okay. And I'll take something from here. let's say revolutionary big eye camera. So this is just for reference. So the idea is to, this is something that if you are working in a big media agency like me, I think your clients will definitely have a creative agency that designs all the creatives for them. I think they'll help you out by writing, a copywriter may help out in writing these beautiful, attractive headlines and descriptions. And I think if you have your own business, I think if you are good at writing copies, then well and good. Otherwise, you can always hire a copywriter and who can help you out with all these headlines and descriptions. But the idea is to showcase that it's extremely important that the headline and the description communicates exactly what you are selling. So that's how the user will click on your creative and they'll arrive at the landing page. Okay, so very clear. I hope there is no doubt till here. I have put the final URL here, which is basically the URL where the user will click and arrive at the landing page. I have put the display URL that you see here, right on the right hand side of the ad. I have put 7 headlines out of 15. I can go on and put all 15 headlines. That's up to you. So for the sake of time and this tutorial, I'll restrict it to 7. But I can put as many as I want, up to 15. I can fill in, I'll keep adding headlines and I can fill in all these. That's okay. Now, another important thing is pin. So you see this small pin symbol here. I can easily pin my headline. So when I say pin, it says the 64 megapixel camera, the place of this word 64 megapixel camera will be fixed in the first slot here. It will not move beyond that. So let's say I have clicked on pin and show the headline in unpinned position. I've already pinned it. So my 64 megapixel camera will not move from the first place. I've pinned it to the first place. Similarly, I can pin anything, but the idea is to keep all these words generic and not talk about any specific product, for example. Otherwise, let's say if you are selling a bicycle and your headline talks about something else, then Google will, because Google will try to make multiple permutations and combinations of your headline and description to show the best performing combination of creative and best performing combination of headlines and descriptions to the user. So ensure that you have a generic description of all the headlines here and a generic explanation in the description part. So you can see these are all rotating automatically. It's trying to build all those best permutations and combinations. Nanotechnology, capture the best at night, 64 megapixel. Then it says ultra low shot, 24 megapixel front camera, 64 rear camera. Then I have something called as a big eye technology. So our ad is now starting to take shape. I think it looks good. Then I create on this done icon in the bottom. As soon as I click on done, now I can create multiple ad copies also. I can create another one if I want. It's ideally recommended to have 2 to 4 ads in each of the ad groups. And within a campaign, it's highly recommended to have 3 to 5 ad groups and at least one responsive and one remarketing campaign. Then I click on save and continue. So it's asking for my payment info. So I don't have my billing set up as of now. So hence I won't be able to move beyond this point. But yes, it's asking me for my credit card details and all. So since I don't use this account, so hence the billing is not set up. But it's from an organization standpoint, if you are working for a big media agency, for example, you don't need to take care of all of this billing and setup and everything, because everything is already set up by the company, by the organization that you will be working with. All you need to do is get access to this account from where the campaigns are running and you can immediately start running. So I'll just quickly show you what it looks like once I fill in my billing process. Where is it that the campaign will come up? So this is how your campaigns will look like. I can see. So once I click on the publish icon here after filling all my details, this is what you'll see. You'll see the campaign setup here. You'll see the budget per day. You'll see the status, the campaign type and subtype, and multiple columns. So all of these columns are actually customizable. You can easily customize it depending upon your requirement. So I can go to the modify column option. I can choose which columns I want to see, which metric I want to track in my search campaign. There are multiple metrics that you can see here. There are clicks, engagement, interactions, view through rate, everything. But it's up to me which metric I want to track. And I recommend, actually, I'll just quickly show you the keywords that I recommend that we should ideally be looking at when we are setting up a search campaign. Yes, I think these are the broad metrics that we should be looking at whenever we are setting up a search campaign. So it's extremely important to look at the cost that you have input. So for my campaign, the cost I input was 1,000 rupees. And if you remember the start date and end date, I put 5 days. That is from tomorrow, 26th, all the way till 30th of April, which is 5 days. So 1,000 into 5 days, which is 5,000 rupees. So cost impressions is very important because every time your ad comes up in front of the user is counted as an impression. So that is extremely important. They might not click on your creative, but an impression has been served because your ad was delivered to the user. Clicks, again, the third metric is very important. Clicks is, I think I personally look at clicks and CTR in order to click CTR and average CPC is something that is very important. That shows how responsive your ads or your ad copies are to the consumer. Because the more the CTR, the better. CTR is click-through rate, which is a click divided by the impressions. That's how you calculate the CTR. And I think it's extremely important that you look at clicks, average CPC, and the CTR metrics in order to track the success of your campaigns. But also, it's very important that you do not ensure that your CTRs are very high, but your conversions are not good at all. That also should not be the case. So if you're running a pure conversion campaign, I would recommend look at the conversions and the conversion rate and the cost per conversion metric, which is the next 3 points. For conversion, I think there is an additional setting that you need to do in your Google Ads account. There's a small JavaScript code that you need to place on the website so that your ad account and your website are linked, and your ad account is able to track all the conversions happening on the website. I think another important metric is the search impression share and the search lost impression share, the last 2 points on the slide. Impression share just talks about how much of impression share did you get vis-a-vis how many impression shares were you supposed to get. I think, and the lost impression share is also on a similar lines, and it's extremely important that you keep tracking such metrics. These are the top 7 or 8 metrics that I personally track for all the search campaigns, and it's extremely important that you look at the impression share. How much of impression share do you have? What is the top impression share? Whether you are appearing on the first line of the search result or second or third, where are you coming up? What is your average CPC you are getting? Which ad group out of the 3 or 4 that you have created is doing really well? Which one is giving me better conversions? Can I optimize my budgets there? So you need to look at all of that and make a real-time optimization of your campaigns. I think that's really important. So I think the structure that I spoke about, keep trying, keep testing, keep learning, and keep improvising. I think that's really important. Try, test, learn, and improvise. So extremely important, these 4 words. Please keep these 4 words in mind for any campaign that you do, be it a Facebook campaign, be it a YouTube campaign, be it a search campaign, be it a display campaign, be it any performance-driven campaign on Amazon or a Flipkart. It's always important that you try, test, learn, and then improvise. So it's an ongoing process. You have to keep doing it. There is no other alternative to it. So I am just, so as you see, I have successfully completed my first step here, which is selecting campaign details. I have successfully completed my ad group setup. I have successfully completed my ads, and all I need to do is just input my billing details and credit card details. So this is a new account, hence it's the billing is not set up. But once I publish it, this is how you will be able to look at it. The campaign will come up here in the campaigns tab, and you'll be able to see all the metrics here. I think that's it from my end. I think there is some more details. I think we can always deep dive in terms of setting conversion tracking on ad account, or we can talk about all the columns in detail. There are some 100+ columns that you can look at in a search campaign. I think that will take obviously another 1.5 hours if I start going deep into it. So I think we can keep that for another session. But it's extremely important you choose the right metric that is right for you, start tracking it, and you'll be able to drive a very successful Google search campaign. I think that's really important here. And yes, I think that's it from my end. If you have any questions, I think I'll monitor the chat box and you can keep posting it.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your valuable time. And I hope our participants also enjoy the complete session. And looking forward, dear participants will be coming up with a lot of informative workshop in the upcoming Sundays. Please drop your comments in the live chat there, and we'll be taking your all the queries and try to resolve. And apart from that, we have already shared the feedback and certificate link in the live chat. So please fill it out and get your certificate of the session. And so thank you so much, sir, once again for giving your valuable time and helping out our students.
Sure, thank you so much. Thank you.